All right, welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. I'm that other dude, Andrew, and as always, I'm joined by Heather.
Hello.
And I'm proud of myself because that time I didn't speak over you. Uh, Today's episode number 89, and it was Heather's turn in the rotation, so we're going to discuss a band called Spiral Shades. I won't say much about. I'll let you take the reins, except
Okay.
to say that I've read a little bit about them. I'm really excited to talk about their music and their creative process.
Yeah. 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 This is unique. Yeah. They their new album is called Revival, and I really dig their story. This is two musicians from two different countries by way of India and Norway, and they got to know each other through YouTube because they both have a common interest in 70s music, and that's what brought them together. And then now they're collaborating on music together, which I just think that is so awesome. I think I first listened to them when they released their album Hypnosis Sessions through Riding Easy Records, and I was really into what Riding Easy was releasing, like all the different music that they were releasing, and Spiral Shades was one of them, and I followed them on Bandcamp, and then I got alerted about their new album that just came out, and then when I listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be right up your alley. I just know it. So yeah, it's just such a cool, like retro throwback type album. You know, it has that old school doom feel, but the vocals are so unique and they're so distinguishable. That's really what I think kind of sets this album apart. I just really love how this has a classic sound, but it's so unique, and it's heavy without being like punishingly heavy. I love the guitar work and how well the vocals and the guitars go together. And I feel like this is good without them trying too hard. Like they're confident in their skill, and it really shines through in the music. I just want to get a 1970 Dodge Challenger convertible, and I want to crank this to 11 and just put the top down and just drive, you know, on a perfect fall day. That just sounds like the perfect day to me.
Yeah, minus getting the car because I don't. I mean, I'd ride passenger.
Ride passenger.
I would ride.
Yeah.
I'd be in the shotgun seat while you
Yeah.
were. That would be awesome. Uh, yeah, it was interesting because you had suggested this band, and you sort of hinted that they would be in the bullseye of my wheelhouse, um,
Yeah.
which I knew would be accurate. But it would be I was sort of interested to see like how close to the center you were,
Yeah.
and it was like literally right in the center. Um, it's interesting because well, I'll just read. Spiral Shades is a project formed in 2012, so they've been working together or collaborating for over a decade. Um, as Heather mentioned, inspired from two individuals from different countries with a common goal of making music together. Kushal Badra, a guitarist and songwriter from Mumbai City in India, and Philip Peterson from Norway. Um, they got to know each other through YouTube because they were interested, and this is what I dug, in 70s heavy doom progressive rock music like Pentagram. Um, and Pentagram was a band that I discovered through YouTube as well. I wasn't as familiar with them. They were a sort of a hard luck band that had been around since the early 70s and multiple times had the opportunity to kind of break big and never quite, through a bunch of either bad luck, circumstances, or infighting, or whatever. They've always remained a very uh, underground band that's sort of known between purists who kind of. Um, there's an excellent documentary that's on YouTube right now about Bobby Liebling, who's the sole remaining original member of the band. But you can definitely hear how uh, Spiral Shades was influenced by that sort of sound. Um, Bobby Liebling also has a unique vocal delivery that I feel is similar to this one. It's sort of that high pitched kind of delivery. And what was interesting is this isn't very formulaic. Like some Doom, it's Doom because they're following the blueprint. This one is much more of a progressive element, so that it was sort of kept catching me off guard. I would be like, oh, this is cool. This is not what I was expecting. Um, and the other interesting thing is, I'm not sure that they've ever met each other in person. Um,
I would love to know if they have, if
yeah,
they
well,
have met.
so they have a Wikipedia page.
Oh,
So
they do?
they
Okay.
do. I don't know how accurate it was,
Okay.
but this was one of the. It said since the two of them were thousands of miles away from each other, it took some time to get used to creating music online. They faced issues recording the drums. Eventually, it had to be programmed because it was a difficult task to arrange for a drummer recording remotely. So, and then I think I had read in a different article that they have yet to meet face to face.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have to get them to meet each other.
I mean, they may have. This may just be a rumor. Um,
Yeah.
but the fact, I mean, that's so This is like a wonderful use of technology, allowing for something really wonderful to happen. That you rarely hear about that. So I'm glad we can bring that forward. Uh,
Yeah, no, this is like one of the beautiful things about the internet. This is like one of the good things about the
mhm.
internet. You hear so much bad, but this is good. This is good.
Yeah, well, it's people coming together over a shared love of music and creating something out of that, and finding, a I mean, you and I essentially met over the internet,
Yeah.
and hit it off, and now we've made this program amongst other things. So it just goes to show you that you can find uh, complementary people out there who are worth spending your time with. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say for me, it was the vocals and the progressive nature of the riffs that really sold this to make it different from a lot of other contemporary doom bands. It's definitely worth checking out. Their latest album, I think it's a Revival.
Yeah.
Yeah, start with that, and then you can work backwards. The hypnosis sessions are some covers of the Obsessed and Pentagram, and a side project called Bedaemon, which so they definitely roll around in the genre of sort of that early '70s progressive doom. Um, the other thing I wanted to ask you, because I had some ideas, but what do you think Spiral Shades means?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Uh, well, gosh, I don't know.
I mean,
Their album, I was kind of looking at their album cover and the way that there's like there's a circle kind of which I was kind of contemplating, like the spiral, does kind of the spiral fit into that, but I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm putting you on the spot right now, and I that certainly wasn't my intention.
Yeah, what do you
While
think it means?
while I thought I came up with three potential ideas that are probably not even close, but I figured why not at least go down this rabbit hole with someone who can hold the rope, so I
Yeah.
don't descend too quickly. Um, so the first possibility, probably the least possible one, is that it's a sports reference to American football. So
Okay.
if a defensive lineman is directly in front of an offensive lineman, they're an even number. If the defensive player isn't directly over the offensive lineman, they're an odd number. There are some nuances based on whether the player has an inside shade or not. So perhaps it might go with an offensive lineman having inside shade, and perhaps
Okay.
perhaps if the wide receiver is running a spiral route, then it's
Yeah.
spiral shades. Um,
Okay.
my guess is with members who are from India and Norway,
It's
probably
unlikely.
probably not. Um,
Yeah.
that's like 1,000 to 1 on the tote board. If you were going to place a bet, that would be the long
Yeah.
shot. The next one has to do with development. As a human being, as a species, with spiral dynamics. So, spiral dynamics is a model of evolutionary development of individuals, organizations, and societies. Um, it's based on the emergent cyclical theory of, I don't know how to pronounce this, Chiari Graves, combined with memetics as proposed by Richard Dawkins and further developed by Mikhail. There's no way I'm getting this one. Csikszentmihalyi. He did study on flow. So spiral, the way we evolve, I think, is more of a spiral. So spiral shades could do so. Again, we've left my wheelhouse long ago, so I'm just going to be rambling
I
on.
would I would say this theory makes a lot more sense.
Right then, especially than American football.
Yeah, well, plus if you read their Bandcamp description, the description on Revival, if you read what they wrote about the album, this makes much more sense.
Okay, well, there's a third one that has to do with
Okay.
psychology. Um,
Okay.
since ancient times, spirals have represented the journey of life. In nature, they are emblematic of progress and possible growth. Um, Barbara Fredrickson's broaden and build theory of positive emotion suggests that while negative emotions narrow thought action that trigger fight or flight, positive emotions help broaden them. So perhaps spiral shades is broadening your positive psychology as opposed to allowing negative. I highly doubt that any of these are what they actually based it on. If we get a direct message from either of the members of this band and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you realized that we talked about the nuances of American football and that's where we got our band name," I don't know what I would do.
That would be amazing.
I mean,
That would be amazing.
yeah, I just don't. But I don't know how I would be able to do better than that in life with anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, being able to guess that spiral shades had to do with American football, um, I just don't like. Where do you go from there? You can only go down, in my opinion. So
Yeah. I would love to hear. Yeah, definitely how they came up with the name and what it means.
yeah, I mean, I would be really interested in speaking to either of them on the show, also to just see how they go about writing music. Um,
Yeah, it's
being,
fascinating. It's
yeah,
just so fascinating to me. Yeah.
um, I mean, we've talked to bands who usually live in the same state with each other in
Hmm.
the U.S. They may live, 50 miles apart. So rather than rehearsing regularly, they may, discuss things over Zoom or send each other tracks. But you would imagine that they would get together at least once a week or once a month or something. Um, I would also be interested to know if there's ever plans to play live. Um,
Yeah. And
how that,
the fact that they're in two different countries
yeah,
and they may have never even met in person, I just find this so fascinating. This
yeah.
whole story.
Well, we can reach out to Spiral Shades and see if perhaps we can get them to come on the show. Because I know you'd be we'd both be fascinated to learn the answers to these questions.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I would say definitely don't sleep on this band. They're doing something unique with the sound and the nuances that they're bringing to the doom genre. I haven't really heard it before. It's really melodic. It's been a while since I've heard melodic doom.
Yeah, the
So
album is fantastic.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
definitely get it right now. Hit pause on this. Go buy Revival. Put it, make sure it's on your turntable, or I was going to say in your CD player, but honestly, who has CD players these days? Or on your playlist.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, and we'll see. Hopefully, if we learn any of the answers to any of these questions
Yeah.
about their name, then we'll. There's a good so there's and we I referenced this the last time where I said that I would eat my hat if somebody. So
Yeah.
yes, this reminds me of Werner Herzog eats his shoe when he suggested that if Errol Morris was able to make the documentary film he wanted to, then he would eat his shoe, and he was. So Herzog made good on the promise. But I
Yeah.
will not be eating this hat because I've had it since 1987.
Well, we'll have to find something else. And not the
I'm,
hat.
yes,
Something
I'm
else.
sure there's
Yeah.
something, but I mean, if gentlemen in spiral shades, feel free to reach out to either Heather or I. We would love to hear from you to find the answers to any of these questions. Um, and all of you out there, yeah, go listen to Spiral Shades. You will not regret it.
Yeah. Yes, I agree 100%.
Thank you. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, aside from continuing to suggest that they should go listen to Spiral Shades, I don't have anything else to discuss. So
Yep.
maybe we can end this one for the week. So next week will be number 90,
Yeah.
and then 100 is right around the corner.
I know we're creeping up on that 100 number.
No, we'll have to do something
Well,
magnificent.
that just absolutely blows my mind.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
it seems
You,
if you,
you've put up with me for almost 100 episodes. I just can't believe it.
I really think that you have that backwards. I mean, I think the audience would probably agree that if anyone is putting up with anyone, that the roles are reversed there. So,
No,
but
it's
yeah,
been a pleasure.
thank you. Yes, I agree. And we'll have to do something magnificent for episode 100.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We'll have to think of something.
and we will. All
Yeah,
right. Well, next week it's back to my turn in the rotation. I
yeah.
think I called an audible and I switched, and I'm looking it up right now. I think it's going to be The Moth, which is a band from Germany. Um, so I'm not 100% sure what their music is like, but I remember I think they're Doom as well. So we'll have to visit them. But yeah, it's been a blast. I really dug that. I'm gonna go listen to them later. So
I yes, I'm glad. I'm really
yes.
happy about that.
Well, you hit this one
Yeah,
out of the park, Heather. So
thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Yes, and we'll be back again next week. So everyone out there, don't forget to check out Spiral Shades, and we'll see you next week for episode 90.
Yes.